Well, I was good friends with Jake Young in the marching band, and he was in my squad my freshman year, and I didn't start singing until my sophomore year because I stopped singing in high school my sophomore year. So it was actually 4 years from when I stopped my men's chorus and then, restarted up again.
I remember hearing of the Singing Men of Ohio, and I thought, I'll go to a concert. So I went to that fall concert, and I was just blown away at the different type of repertoire and everything that they were doing.
I looked online for a cappella groups, actually, because that was something I was really interested in. And I read about Section 8 and how you needed to be a member of this other group, Singing Men of Ohio, to get involved with that. So I decided, yeah, that sounds great. I love to sing. I've been in a chorus in high school. I'll do that. That'll be my thing.
I talked to Diedrich at the activities fair, and he just made it seem awesome. So I joined it, and it was everything and more than anything he explained to me.
I saw Signing Men of Ohio, so I went and I had my pen and everything. I was ready to audition, and they said it was Singing Men, so I just allowed it. Just did it for 4 years.
I saw it and I loved it. I was a big choir nerd in high school. I was choir president. And I really wanted to keep singing in college, and I'd always loved male choruses, and there wasn't one at my high school, but it was definitely my goal to be in one in college. So when I knew that I was coming to OU, I knew that SMO was here. I'd heard them perform already. It was my goal at the very beginning to be part of SMO.
Well, I suppose in high school I came up for the Ohio University Honor Choir, and as you know, we as SMO tend to perform at the church for one of their first rehearsals. And I remember sitting in the pews thinking, oh, why am I here? I don't know if I get this whole choir thing. And then Singing Men of Ohio came on and did, I'm sure it was Brothers Sing On or Johnny Schmoker or even Mr. Columbus, something or other. And it was one of the coolest experiences I had as an honor choir student.
And I heard SMO practicing one day as I was zipping up from the School of Dance to go back up to Jennings' house. And I stood outside and went, oh my God, these guys, this is fabulous. I want to do this.
I was walking down Jeff Hill, and one of the SMO guys handed me a flyer. And I thought, this could be that organization that I kind of remember being a part of. And it was. SMO really picked me up when I was needing it.
I just love music, and I love singing, and my mom and I had talked about it, and it was spring quarter of my freshman year. I just decided to do it.
Funny memories, man, I have so many.
Other than Pat Uline's mom trying to do a keg stand?
I'm gonna have to go with the Nick Campagna clap. The clapping game became really fun after a while, and when Nick was trying to tell us about Johnny Schmoker and we gave him a standing ovation, that was probably the funniest thing that's ever happened in SMO.
I believe legendary SMO lore refers to the event simply as the Joust. That would be Tom Ogilvy versus Michael J. Ward.
And all of a sudden, Mike Ward comes charging down the aisle, and poor Tom was just flattened. That kind of blew me away.
Perhaps my freshman year, just like trying to get a feel for the organization in general, and I just remember Ken Perbucky and Casey, Kevin Chamberlain, who was on Clash of the Choirs, actually. And, well, Casey and Ken were ridiculously just funny, him and Cliff. And we were over in the tenor section, and they would stand in the back against the rail. And one day it was go through whole rehearsal without wearing pants day. So they, Ken especially, decided to unbuckle his belt and wear his pants down at his ankles through the entire rehearsal. And he made it through, actually. And it was a proud accomplishment in his life, I'm sure, and one of the funniest memories I'll remember.
We went to Wendy's, and Andy Langlis smacked me in the chest harder than I think I've ever been smacked by anyone. And a couple seconds later, felt bad about it and decided to give me a hug, but we'd been drinking enough that it wasn't just a hug, he kind of mounted me. And Andy Langlis is a little bit, he's bigger than me, which most people are, and I just crumpled under his feet, and the guy behind the Wendy's counter was livid, and he points at us, he goes, "You twos, get out of here!" And we kind of And we were just laughing. He was like, I'm not laughing, get out of here. And we were just like, wow, we just got kicked out of Wendy's. Like, I've never been kicked out of a bar, and I got kicked out of Wendy's.
Our tour dad, or our homestay dad, was like, oh, I work for a garbage company, and I'm a garbage man. I'm not proud to say it. And Neil's like, oh, that's so cool. At least you only have to work 1 day a week. And I'm just sitting there like, Neil, are you serious? Like, just because your garbage gets picked up 1 day a week doesn't mean he only works 1 day a week. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Everybody was in the choir room changing to get ready, and I remember John Slater walking around wearing almost nothing, just doing all kinds of terrible things to, well, everybody. And I remember Sean Howlett, who was the historian at the time, was taking pictures of that. And so this place that had always been such a, part of school was all of a sudden filled with John Slater's naked ass.
It was my junior year. We took a tour up into Canada through Windsor and then back out of Canada through Niagara Falls. And there was a guy in SMO, a freshman at the time named Brendan Lucas. That was his only year in there. And I was sleeping in a bed with him, and I woke up and my hand was on his inner thigh.
It was freshman year, and Chris Moran, it was in Canada, so everyone who was 19 could drink. So 19-year-olds plus drinking equals usually bad things. So he has a great idea of let's just drink the rest of everyone else's drinks, like leftovers. So he's just hammered. And he's in the bathroom, he's not feeling too well, and he's just like, he's all drunk, he's like, guys, I really just want my really close friends in here. And it was me, Nathan Ramos, and Mike Ward. We were all in the bathroom, like Chris, it's okay, you'll feel better in the morning. And he looks to me, and he's like, Dan, Nathan, he's like, and he looks to Mike, he's like, Mike, can you leave?
Yeah, there are tons of fond memories of SMO.
It was a time in rehearsal. My dad's been going through a kind of tough time health-wise recently, and we sang through some of our songs, and Things That Never Die is like the middle part of the song. I just kind of like lost it. I started crying in rehearsal, and I just I never thought that even in rehearsal the music would move me that way, but just thinking about everything that like the group means to me and how much being with my friends and singing the kind of things that we do, it was really a moving time for me.
You're not really in SMO until you complete a concert, and you're not completing a concert until you complete the winter SMO concert.
And that's what everyone works towards, and it's absolutely true. Once you go through that first alumni concert, then you really start to get what this group is about.
With all those voices coming together and singing those parts, I think it's so powerful. And I remember standing on the risers and sometimes just kind of tears coming to my eyes just thinking about the meaning of the words and what we're singing and what this group represents.
I just love seeing the old alumni guys come back. I'm going to be an alumni, so it's just a nice concept that you don't have to say goodbye completely. You can come back a little bit.
What gets to me is every time it's a student conductor's last time conducting Brothers Sing On.
These are my brothers. I don't have any brothers. I have 2 sisters, so it's kind of why I joined the group.
When Professor, now Dr. Carciolo, came back to conduct the alumni concert, I remember how much I enjoyed that because I had missed him.
And just the friendships and the bonds that I've made with the fellas, the guys in SMO. And I always remember just the fun times that we've had, on tour, and the funny times in hotel rooms and homestays.
When we're in that moment and I feel like I'm singing well and the group's singing well, that's the best part.
After hearing like all the legend about Dr. Zook meeting his daughter and kind of getting an understanding of what he was like as a person, not only through her stories but through her mannerisms even, and I think it just made me feel like a part of something.